Turn on the record. Yep. I'll get the backup computer as well. Okay, I'll do the little formal bit just for the guys who are not here and for the people coming on YouTube completely cold later. So that'll be mainly for you guys who are here live as well. Right, so here we go. So welcome to the webinar, How to Help Others Transmute Their Karma into the Gifts of Service with the Soul Contract Reading Training. I'm Nicolas David Ngan of the Center for Conscious Ascension. And let's go to a little blurb here. And then we can be more relaxed about the whole thing. So, have you noticed how people turn away from the biggest challenges, karmic challenges they face in their lives? That's pretty much most of us, especially me for most of my life. And no matter how hard they've tried, it's just too painful to face them. I had that happen this morning, actually. Some deep, old, dark stuff came up. As they lack the spiritual map of life for how to overcome them. So this free live webinar is how to identify these core patterns and how to go about transmuting them. Okay, so you can help people deliver the gift of service to the world, that special thing they've been looking for their entire life. That's why we're here. And let's just get to know each other. And I'll say, well, why am I here? I received a soul contract reading, also known as an spiritual numerology of Moses, way back in 1990 from Frank Alpha, the founder of this work. This was in Phoenix, Arizona, on a workshop called the Carousel of Growth, and it completely changed my life. And I was determined to share it with the world, because that's in my soul contract, to share things with oars. You can read the book. So I said to Frank, well, when do you teach this? He said, oh, in about 6 weeks' time, we're running a workshop on this. So I stayed in the States for another 6 weeks, learnt this, and I brought it to Europe. And it's now 33 years onwards, and been propagating this work in the English language to awaken as many people as possible. Welcome, Elvira. If you'd like to join us on the video, fairly optional, whatever you're comfortable with, just click on the yes to be moving to becoming a panelist. You can just message me or just chat from the attendee room. So that's why I'm here. My mission is to help light workers discover their gift of service and to get out there and deliver it and raise consciousness on earth. That's why I'm here. So I'd like to find out why you guys are here, because this is your webinar and we can shape this. I've got a presentation, but this can pretty much go any way you want, because you'll have different levels of understanding of the work. And you've got me for an hour and a half. It's very hard to get my time, so make the most of it. Okay, your questions? So who wants to go first? Just wave at me or just switch your mic on, and Elvira, if you want to chat, because what you put into this is what you're going to get out of it. You get a lot more out of it if we have a discussion. Okay, so who wants to go first? Just wave at me. Hi, Roxanne. Okay, Simrat. Hi, Roxanne. Just say where you are. Yes, where you are, what brought you here, and what you'd like from us.
Sure. So I am in London. I'm originally from America, but I've been in London since 2017.
Yep.
I moved here for my husband's job. And I'm here because I need to get some direction on what my gifts of service are. I know that I need to do something in the healing realm. I started off as an obstetrician gynecologist. I am still, I guess, technically. I was miserable in that training because it just didn't feel right. And then I did some training in osteopathy. I did some training in cranial sacral therapy. I've been on my spiritual journey now, I would say, like seriously, over the course of the last 2 years. I have a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I'm a full-time, mom there. I haven't like stepped back into like the world of putting myself out there, my services out there, because I've been busy with the kids. And so just trying to figure out what way to go back into work.
Okay. Oh, good. Well, Almira Aru, who used to run this business with me, and well, we used to be married. She used to be a top doctor as well, and she decided that 5 minute 5 minute consultancy times and drugs were doing nothing, so she left and did this instead, and it's having a much bigger impact. So it sounds like you're on a very similar path. So I understand the path you've been on. So
Yeah, thank you. I know most people think I'm crazy, but I'm like, I just can't. I know there's something deep in my heart where I just have a visceral reaction every time I go into work. So I'm like, life is too short. I can't do that.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
have to figure out what else to do.
yeah. She pretty much had the same reaction. So yeah. Okay, well, you're on the right path. There is a way, and you can make a massive difference, and you'll build upon all that hard-earned decade of becoming a medic, or however long it took, a specialty. So it's sort of legalized torture. That's what I decided, having heard how it goes.
It
So
really is. The system is so broken. I just
yeah,
can't do it.
yeah.
So
I'm
thank you.
glad. Hopefully, you're getting a bit more sleep than when you're an intern. So
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even know what sleep was
yeah, I've had a lot
until
of
I had
sleep.
to like detox myself from that life. So
Yeah, it takes a while.
yeah.
Okay, welcome. Right, who's next? I think it was Roxanne. Where are you coming from, Roxanne?
Hey, I am in Alabama, in the
Okay.
United States, 4 a.m., so I wasn't
You're up
expecting it.
early. You're keen.
I thought the time was wrong.
No, it's not.
So but I'm glad I got to join this morning. I actually work in the mental health field, and I am a videographer, and I record stories of empowerment of many of the people who are in our community. And I did the Soul Contract book, and I read the book, and I would love to do more work in this field. I feel it may be it would be a place that I'd like to help more people, help myself even. I mean, I feel like there's some of the things that I learned in the book were helpful for me, but I just like to learn how I could make this more a part of the healing for myself and everybody that I meet. So
Okay. Yeah. Well, this work is a very good um, core structure. Um, when you're working with people, you can get to the point immediately
mhm.
what's causing what the presenting symptoms emotionally, physically, mentally. So it means you get on with it a lot quicker, and it's very good for dismantling the ego's defenses, unconscious defenses, which keeps us in separation. So it'll definitely do the job that you're asking for, and it integrates well with whatever other therapies or processes you use. It basically helps focus at the right time on what's important, and then after a while, the ego starts to give up because it realizes you know exactly what's going on, and it doesn't. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a laser scalpel of stuff. So okay, Yannicka, you want to? You're not shy, so
Good morning, everyone. I'm Janaki. I live in London. So in regards to Nicholas's work, I don't know. I guess it was divine timing. In January or February 2022, I had Antigone do a soul contract reading, and it was around my awakening. So I spent 15 years in the NHS as a mental health nurse, specializing in perinatal and forensics. And my awakening came in 2020. So this is when I started to learn about being a light worker and stuff. And I needed direction and help and support. So when I had the reading, it really helped direct me into like what I'm doing. But it was actually a year later when I re-listened to it, it actually empowered me in who I was as a person, and it actually validated so much that was really factual. So I was really grateful for that. However, I do feel like the divine healing training is going to be more my cup of tea, and that's what I think I'll be starting this June, and adding to my box of tricks. And I think this is where I'm going to learn a lot around my own abilities and helping heal myself to help heal the world, as well as learning. I don't want to use protection, but I think there's something around I need to learn around healing angels and protecting my own psyche from external forces. But I want to learn how to do that. And yeah, is that okay?
Well, it's whatever it is for you. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's important to go with whatever you're drawn to with the work we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we offer three core technologies, cutting edge technologies, which either we developed ourselves or we expanded upon greatly from others who taught us. The soul contract reading work gives you the spiritual map of life, of the potential that's unfolding from the time someone's born to the time they pass over or ascend. And we teach you in soul contract how to figure out through a conscious spiritual dialogue with the client exactly where they are and what they need to do next. And then we use divine healing as a tool to clear the blockages, the emotional roadblocks on that spiritual map of life to move forward. So soul contract doesn't have a time component, it has a potential, and only you can only work out where they are from the dialogue. And then they say, okay, this is where I am. Then you apply divine healing in a very specific way, because soul contract brings consciousness to the exact nature of the program. So you're not guessing, you're not having to peel away layers and guess what's going on. You know exactly what's going on. So that means that you can slice with love through the ego's defenses, because the ego is designed to keep us separate from God much more quickly. So that means someone can come online much faster. So that's how the synergy of the two of them actually works. Just so you understand, it's not one or the other. They actually work well as a hybrid package. That's what most of our practitioners do. Although some have a greater preference for divine healing, some have a greater preference for soul contract. But the fact that they know, some of them just come for soul contract because I need to know what's driving it, but I want to be mainly divine healing. So they go off and do that. And some just want to give readings. It depends on what you like. So, yeah. Okay. So, and you had your microphone on before. Do you want to say anything? Share why you're here so we can sort of understand what your needs are. And then we can meet those only if you want to, or put it in the chat and I'll read it out. No. Elvira, do you want to?
Hi,
Anne.
Ordered. I'd rather not share things, and chat's not working. I can't put anything in chat. I'm very happy to be here and be part of it, and I'm enjoying listening to all of it.
Okay, what do you need from this, Anne? Just so I got some idea, so I can address that.
Just the whole concept of transmute karma, is amazing because it impacts all of us. So I am a practitioner, so it's something brilliant to be able to, help others. But also, we've also got our own personal missions that need helping first as well. So, using it for myself and then what I learn and experience, sharing with others.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Elvira, do you want to say anything of why you're here, what your intention is? Because then we can feed that into the group's intention.
Hi. So I'm living in Cyprus. I'm Russian, and I know how it sounds. It's not like that.
It's what? I didn't quite catch the word. What
I am Russian, but I'm living in Cyprus, and I read your book, I think 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I'm last, I think 4 years, I'm on the journey of self-discovery. All my life I've been in finances, but I've never been happy. And I always felt that this urge to help people. And in the beginning it was psychology, then now I am more focused on astrology. And my niche is to help people finding their life purpose. Okay. And that's why when I think your book really was very helpful for me to understand approximately also how to guide people. So what, yeah, because astrology and what you're writing are very correlated. So karmically, what we are here to do, and that's why I'm also thinking about mixing this soul contract, what you're talking about, together with astrological readings.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Gives me a good feel. My co-teacher in the training, Antigone Langley, she's a very good astrologer as well. She sort of has a good insight on that sort of thing, Elvira. So
yeah.
So
because as you're talking very about spiritual things, and astrology is about spirituality, it's about reincarnation. So if people that coming for astrological reading, they already open to that. How to say, they are more open about talking about reincarnation and this soul discovery, if you understand what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, understood.
Good.
Okay. Thank you everybody for sharing, and thanks Elvira. So we'll just go through some of the slides here, and I'll just talk generally about that. Okay, how many of you guys have read the book? Put your hand up if you read the book. Your Soul Contract Decoded.
I've just started it.
Okay. Janet,
it's on my list of things to read with my other ones.
Okay.
I really desperately want to, and I actually want to apply it to my pets' names.
It does apply to pets.
Yeah.
It does apply to animals as well. So, okay. Having tested it. Right. So, I'm not sure why the chat's not working. And so, okay. So let's talk about how our karma contains our spiritual gift of service. It's sort of something that the brain goes, well, what does that actually mean? Is that for real? On Earth, when we come here, we think, there's a lot of attraction where what we feel and think, especially unconsciously, creates our reality. But often we get a lot of stuff. How many of you guys got everything you didn't want when you were a kid? It was just awful. Yeah, got all the things you didn't want, but you end up, yeah. Well, that's because the law of opposites runs. That's the one they don't tell you about. Okay. Everything you don't like in life turns up first. So you get pretty clear from there what you don't like, but then you also get pretty clear what you do want. For me, for example, I had a lot of disempowerment as a kid, a lot of emotional suppression, a lot of unworthiness. So I could learn to come into my power and learn. I used to be the shyest kid. Now I won't shut up when I'm teaching. So I used to say, you got more words than a woman, Nicolas, when we were together. So you get clear on what you do want. That's how it works. That's how the universe gets our attention. So the core to claiming your gift of service is not necessarily way out there in the distance. You're going looking for it. It's right in front of your nose. It's whatever is challenging you the most is the thing to turn into, not turn away from. Our ego naturally does not like pain. It'll be turned into, my case, the disempowerment or into the unworthiness to express or be loved, and bringing consciousness to the many layers of that karmic pattern that eventually transmutes it into our gift of service. Okay, so the thing we want is actually right in front of us all the time. And because most people turn away from their karma, their life gets very hard. Gallup did a poll of people working in normal jobs, and 89% of people are emotionally disconnected from their work, which, allowing for the margin of error, is pretty much everybody who does a normal job, because they're not aligned to the gift of service. They've been doing what the Matrix programmed them to do. I used to sit in a glass box in the city in London about 25 years ago, working on the commercial end of global satellite business, figuring out how to make them more money. And then one day, a cloud in the form of an angel flew by on a clear blue sky summer's day and sort of waved at me. It was about 200 foot long, this cloud. And I knew this was the end of that job. And 6 months later, I left to do this, which was unimaginable. my co-workers couldn't believe I was actually leaving. Such a really good job, which was a really interesting job as well. But I went to claim my gift of service here. So that's the key for helping people. Find out what their biggest challenges are, which is what the soul contract work does. And within there will be the gift of service. And the key is getting them to engage and feel it, bring consciousness to it, and transmute it, which is why we have divine healing. That's the beginning of getting a much more fulfilling life, a life, unimaginable life. Sometimes I go in the train to London and rush out to go meet someone, and I remember what it's like to be with the grey people and commute who are dead to the world a lot of the time, just putting up with it. They've got kids, mortgages. Not a criticism, it's just they've got massive commitments and they need to meet those commitments. So there is a way, and it comes from our greatest pain, finding our gift of service and manifesting it. So how do we help these people? And how do you help yourself as well? Do that. So what happens here is that if you're interested in training as a soul contract reader, you can, from their birth certificate name, decode the secrets of the blueprint of their lives for spiritual seekers. The program that creates every single moment of their reality. And so you can empower people to the spiritual map of life that comes out of the soul contract. It allows you to empower people to overcome their karma, the really hard stuff, discover and express more of their talents, achieve their goals. And if they can work through all this stuff, then they can start to manifest their soul or life purpose. So they move out of the 89% who are completely disconnected from their life, the work they do, and do something which they're passionate about. The past 3 years has led to a lot of people reevaluating their life purpose. We actually got busier because people realized that this whole matrix, this low frequency matrix that they're working in, just wasn't doing the job. So pretty similar experience that you're going through, Simrat. But a lot more people may reach out and say, well, I want to do this, because why am I wasting my time doing all this other stuff? Okay, because I got programmed by the matrix. They woke up. So how do we figure this out? So I'll give a brief overview for the system for some people who are coming for the first time. But just bear with me, you guys who understand how it works. So the soul chooses a name, a set of vibrations in whatever language it is, that through, and it's based upon all its past life experience, it works out what's the next optimal step for me to grow in this life. And it picks a time zone, parents, genetics, ancestors, language, and it puts in place that name that will, through the law of attraction, create the next optimal experience for it, and it creates a brand new personality expression. Each of you is a brand new personality expression. It's like an avatar. You climb into your avatar, your emotional, mental, and physical body, have an experience here. The soul contract determines what that avatar is going to be like. How are you going to experience reality? And we decode their name here using the Star of David. And it has a large downward pointing triangle, which represents the physical side of life. And that's where when we first arrive, we have to learn to walk and talk, because we're brand new as ego personalities every lifetime. You guys haven't had a past life. Any past lives, it's just your soul has, with other personalities. We're each brand new. Once you learn to walk and talk, get conditioned responses, education, relationships, get up and running in life. And between the ages of 35 and 42, I had the experience of that cloud angel when I was 37. Our emphasis shifts to the upward pointing large triangle, which is a spiritual triangle. I mean, both are running at once, but our emphasis shifts to, okay, now I have to get on with what's really important. We search for that true purpose. And the soul's hoping you've built enough of the physical triangle to enable the spiritual triangle, the real mission to build upon that as a good foundation, a good grounded foundation. And in each of these triangles, these three aspects, we have karma, talents, and goals. And karma, as I've described, is a set of unresolved experiences from past lives the soul brings in to create the negative context of your life. So you get triggered to find your gift of service. Physical talents in this case are latent. They help you overcome it if it's a good match. And as these get stronger, that moves towards the physical goals. And those physical goals allow, this is the thing that really makes you happy. Hi, Kazui. If you want to come and join us on the video, just click on yes to being a panelist, or you can just message us in the chat. Physical goals are what gets us out of bed in the morning. And I like connecting with people and engaging. That's why I do these webinars. Okay. And so what happens is that initially we have our karma, which we overcome, and then that helps us manifest more of our physical talents, which then helps us get to our physical goals. In the physical realm and the outer world. And our inner world is where we overcome our spiritual karma, our spiritual talents. That opens us up to higher consciousness. It helps us embody much more of our higher level soul components. And it helps us express our true mission. That's where the major answer of why we're here comes from this one. As the spiritual talents get stronger, that helps us get to our spiritual goals over here. And my spiritual goal is to share knowledge, duplicate and share knowledge. So energy flows from spiritual karma and spiritual talents to spiritual goals. And if you are consciously working on all these 6 aspects, which you can once you've figured out your soul contract or help someone else do that, what happens then is over time, percentage of a given aspect that's completed increases much faster because you know what's going on now, and you've got the tools to work with it. As you work on the 6 outer aspects, they contribute towards your soul destiny. And so you start to get the answer to what is really your gift of service. It comes in layers. It's not said to you all at once because you probably couldn't cope. It's revealed to you when you're ready. I mean, I spent many years as a struggling alternative therapist in London, and then Spirit downloaded the book in 2011. It got published and became a bestseller in 2013. And then all these opportunities opened up to be on Gaia and 4 times, and lots of publicity. And so my life changed. I went from being a struggling therapist to now we have a global teaching business, a reality which is completely different to the one I had when I first started doing this. So it's very important to work on these 6 outer aspects as consciously as you can with focus and dedication, because then the soul destiny, the real fulfilling soul purpose soul destiny will come through layer by layer, and life gets very interesting. So you live a completely different life for those around you who are struggling in the matrix. And you can help everyone do this who comes to you if you learn how to do this work. So I want to demonstrate how this works. So, okay. Has anyone here not had their soul contract figured out? Okay, Simrat, are you happy to be a guinea pig?
Sure. I have a reading scheduled with you on April 27th. I booked it like 4 months ago.
Okay, I know. Well, let's do a little taster, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So you're happy to be your soul on YouTube?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So let's put your current name in here. This is the soul contract software. This is soulcontractreader.com. This is web-based software that you can use on any device with a browser. We built this for our practitioners and also book readers.
Okay. How do we get this software? Do we like buy it or?
You can just I'll put it in the YouTube. It'll be on the YouTube description when you get the video. Okay.
Okay.
But if you want it earlier, I'll put it on the chat now. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Simrit, yeah, that's my current name.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What's in your birth certificate?
It's the same name, but with my middle name is Kaur, Kaur.
You were born in the States?
Yeah.
We won't put your birthday in.
It's okay. I'll be 36 next month.
Yeah. Just for data protection. So you're okay with me doing this?
Yeah.
It's the 18th, 4th, 23. And so we just enter Simran's name. It's going to do all the calculations, and I'll show you how this works.
So it works without the date of birth.
Yeah, the date of birth just so I know your age. It's not critical.
Okay.
What's your star sign? That's the only thing we want to know.
Taurus.
Okay. It's ready to see. The system works in cycles of 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you're 36 now. You just entered the 6th cycle. So it's been 35 and 42 where massive change happens. Where you're reviewing everything and you're trying to find the true path, which pretty much sums up what you said at the beginning.
Yeah.
So when those kids are at school in 3 years, both of them at school, then you can really unleash yourself. So that's going to be at 39. So you'll be out of the child raising cave and you'll have most of half a day to yourself. So
Yeah.
that's when it'll get really interesting. So, okay.
So prepare for that.
Yeah, so you get ready for that. That's what's going to happen. Your soul will already go for it then. So what we've done here in the software is we've converted your name to Hebrew, equivalent Hebrew sounds. We use 22 Hebrew sounds, ancient Hebrew sounds here. And in Hebrew, numbers and letters are inherent in the same sound and same symbol, unlike conventional numerology. Okay. And where numbers are allocated to the Roman alphabet. And the 22 ancient Hebrew sounds we use come from the movement of Great Spirit. God, in the spiritual sense, as it created creation, it comes out of the symbol of the flower of life, which is what we've got here. Comes out of this. Comes out of the flower of life here, which you see on many ancient temples, because they're acknowledging how the Creator created creation. So what we do here is we take these numbers, we allocate them on the Star of David, starting at physical karma, like 15, 10, 13, 21, 9. We go around the Star of David, and we use them all up. And then what we do is we add up the numbers. Total here is 48 for physical karma. And because we only have 22 numbers and 22 channel interpretations from the soul of Moses, who came through Frank Alpha, none of this work. We go 4 plus 8 equals 12. It has to be a number between 1 and 22, so we have some meaning. So there's a frequency of a 12. There's a second frequency, because this is called a combination number, which comes from 1 plus 2 is 3. So we have a 12, 3. So it's a pure frequency of a 12. This is just an English number for a Hebrew frequency. And a pure frequency of a 3. Okay? And that's Gimel and that's Lamed. So in a 12-3, you could be anywhere on this continuum, like hot and cold taps in the shower on a given day. And the idea is to experience all the different combinations of that 12-3 in this life. Right? So that's how we get these numbers here, and say this number here is 6. Total is 24. 2 plus 4 equals 6, because when you have 22 numbers, 6 is a single digit number. So what we do there is we go 6 plus nothing is another 6. So we get a double number. There's only one frequency. There isn't the range of frequency like this. One frequency the soul wants to experience. So some parts of your life have a wide range of experience, and some have a very narrow range of experience. Okay. So I work out all the numbers accordingly. Now take the physical numbers, place them on the top half of this table. Spiritual numbers on the bottom half. Add up the totals. Get the 71 and the 26. Then I go, I have to reduce this so it makes some sense. 7 plus 1 is 8. 2 plus 6 is 8. That becomes the soul destiny here in the middle. Okay. And these are the channel symbols that Frank brought through, which have a specific meaning. And they're basically channeling to me the frequencies of what the soul wants to do in this life, Samurai. So I'm going to give you a brief reading, get a feel for this. What's the main question you have about your life? So you're going to get 2 bites of the cherry. You're going to ask me here, and you're probably going to ask me something similar or more complex when you actually do the reading.
Sure. I guess like what are my talents that I need to share? I don't know. Is that a complicated question? Is that a complicated one?
No, no question's too complicated in this work. It's all in here.
Okay.
So
because I have a lot of talents. I just don't know which one, like which direction to go that would be for like the highest good.
Yeah. Well, you are here to absorb and expand lots of knowledge. We read lots of books or listen to Audible with 2 kids or whatever. Okay. 6 books at a time. Yeah. To absorb and expand lots of knowledge with a 12. Overcome unworthiness to be loved as a kid. And to be a teacher of deep spiritual wisdom. Deepen this internal canal. You're here to pull this plug of unworthiness out. And you're here to bring deep soul wisdom out in the world as a communicator, teacher, writer. That's what you're here to do. In a very grounded and focused way. It's about this is the Taurus. This is creativity. And you probably have tons of ideas and you try to do them all, and it wears you out.
Yep.
Okay, so you got to pick one. They all seem important, don't they? Equally important, but there's only one to do at a time. And you're here to,
yeah, that's the tough part.
Yeah. So you got to feel in your heart what opens your heart the most. And focus on that one. Finish that, even though you'll get distracted along the way. Then you'll find it breaks through the blockage in creativity with this convertible knot. Then you'll find next time you do this, it's easier to manifest the next thing. But pick one thing at a time. Okay. There is not enough time in this life, Simrat, to do them all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm learning that.
That's
Yeah.
the basic tenet of this thing. Okay.
Great.
And
Thank you.
you're here to take spiritual knowledge, bring it down to the earth plane, and express it with an open heart in plain English. So here's a bridge from real high frequency stuff to plain English. And that's maybe the reason why you learned how to work in the 3D allopathic medical world. Okay? And you're here to help others find out who they are through reflected being, to mirror to them parts of themselves they haven't seen, and to be a real pioneer in what you do, which is why you wanted to break out of conventional medicine, because it just got boring, didn't it? After a while. Just not really doing it. Too slow, just not doing it. Okay. You're here to absorb and duplicate and share lots of knowledge, things that resonate with you. And this is saying you're here to have some sort of spiritual center, some sort of space to disseminate healing and knowledge to help people to achieve their goals. How are we doing so far?
Really good. Like this is all exactly, I already know all this.
Yeah.
So it's reassuring because this is like everything I've like channeled for myself.
Yeah.
It's just like figuring out how to get there.
Yeah. Well, one step at a time. And the soul destiny is an 8, and the 8 is this amoeba, and that's about learning to form clear emotional boundaries with society and others. Learn to visit it, but not get over involved into it. All that sticky, emotional, messy stuff you've got yourself into, probably, with people.
Oh, yeah. That's so true.
And you're here to share knowledge out in society. That's what it's saying. Spiritual knowledge. Stuff you're really, really enthusiastic about. You're here to duplicate it, Take one of these, you grow it to a whole flow of knowledge. And the more you share, the more you duplicate, the more that will come to you. So lots of good things are going to keep turning up for you. It's about getting the flow moving. How's that for 10 minutes? Sound okay?
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. We'll say more. We'll say more when you come for a reading.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions, anyone on that? Or you have any other questions, Simrat?
I just have a general question, and I don't know if you'll have the answer to that, but just the question between like where the physical versus the spiritual karma comes from.
In what sense?
Like I understand that, we have our soul, like our higher selves that is eternal.
Yeah.
And then, we have our physical selves, like in this dimension that our soul is chosen and we're unique here. So I just want to understand, like when we clear karma, like what is the karma in those two different boxes?
Okay. So
Yeah.
physical karma relates to how we work out in the physical world. Okay. And it's our primary training for being in the world. I mean, your primary training is learn to find balance, be worthy to be loved, so you can get out in the world and deliver your gift as a teacher, communicator. Okay. Whereas this one is how you open a higher consciousness, as I said earlier. And for you, it's about opening up to the pure truth of spirit and bringing it in and turning the vision of that pure truth into a physical ground of reality. And in that process, learning to find out who you are through intense relationships and helping others find out who they are. Okay, so it's more spiritually orientated in this case. There's slight differences in the book. There's general core level interpretations, which are the same for physical and spiritual, but there are more specific second level interpretations which differentiate the two. So it just depends on which aspect they're in.
Okay.
If you want to ask about specific numbers, you need to look at the book in greater detail.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Does that
you.
help?
Yeah, that helps.
All right. Anyone else got any other questions on this one? We move on. No? Okay. All right. So thanks for bearing yourself, Simrat. It's very brave for a 7 to show your true self. See? That's what's necessary. The more you show your true self, the more people will come to you for the work you do. So let's go back to the presentation. All right. So how can you help people with this? So what you're basically doing is revealing the spiritual map of their life to them. And just gonna find my pen. Here it is. If you're a one-on-one therapist, consultant, we have business consultants come on these trainings, or a workshop facilitator, it's going to give you the complete spiritual map of your clients' or students' lives. So you immediately and profoundly understand their issues. Most importantly, it will help you accurately guide them through all your work with them from the beginning. And because it's true, so true, it builds immediate trust. Okay, and the ego sort of surrenders a lot earlier when it's built in. Someone becomes conscious of their true path. So it basically produces much better and faster results for people in terms of their growth. People are sort of in a hurry, especially nowadays, because we're going through so much change. We're seeing the old world dying before our eyes, and we're building a new earth based upon light and love, trust and connection, complete opposite of what we've all lived through our entire lives and our ancestors for hundreds of thousands of years. So this is a great tool for that, to help people come online, because God sends millions of light workers, but only a few come online, and this tool is about getting as many of them online as possible to build the new earth. Because there's a big vacuum forming. All the systems which we were programmed to trust are all completely falling apart, and you can see the nature of the darkness and the corruption that they all carry. It's our job to build the new earth, build new structures of consciousness and physical things out there as well, which will come off those. That's why we were born. It's like, because we all came for this time right now. So what happens if you decide to learn how to become a practitioner is that you'll get the structure of helping you understand yourself and everyone else in your life and your clients. And you'll learn to give readings, birth chart readings, based on people's birth names through the use of the 22 letters of Hebrew. And basically, we're teaching you how to hold space to deliver this very pure spiritual transmission. So for those of you who read the book, it's not about learning more about the book. That's the best we could do in that format. What we'll actually be doing is that you'll learn experientially. Okay? Through complete immersion in the interpretations of the soul contract chart. So we spend the first 3 days giving readings to each of the students in the class and using their charts, their subjective experience of their different aspects as to how we teach. Everyone will share how they feel, what they've been through subjectively. And hearing that transmission, that strong emotional experience, you'll never forget what a number is. Okay? So basically, what we're doing is that your body's activating into the work, into the 22 numbers, through the mutual sharing of experience, first 3 days. And what will happen is that you'll become the work, not know the work, you'll become it. And then when you practice on the fourth and fifth day, giving and receiving readings, you'll be amazed at what will come out of your mouth because you would have become the work. Okay? And some quite profound things happen when people give readings to each other in the class. So we're all awakening people. And we have ongoing professional development after the level 1 training, because there's 3 levels. This level, we teach you birth chart readings. Second level is about relationships, which is and name overlays, everyone's very fascinated about. And the third level is about using it for business, how to create the right business names as an extension of an individual's gift of service so they can manifest it out in the world more so. So we have ongoing professional development with a private Facebook peer-to-peer support group. And we have a support program, optional support program as well, that gets you off the ground in the first 6 months. Okay. So what are your clients or students going to get from this? You learn how to do this. People get a deep feeling of peace when they hear the truth of their lives so profoundly and accurately. They feel relieved that there's actually an order and meaning to their life. I thought my life was some big car crash, something had gone badly wrong until Frank explained it to me. And I thought, oh, I am on the right path after all. I thought I'd done all the wrong things. I mean, all my decisions were mistakes, but they actually turned out to be very good decisions in the end. And most importantly, it helps those who feel like victims of life because they've got severe disempowerment in their chart to take charge and move forward from wherever they are in their life. Get on with it. A lot of people get disabled, they get stuck because the programs are so strong down here. This helps them get unstuck and helps them move forward. So what we're doing here is we teach you how to show people where they are on the spiritual map of life. This is you're born, you ascend, or you leave the physical body. You can show them exactly where they are. And most people are sort of going all over the place. They're all going all over the place. They're not aligned to their true path. We help them align here. Okay. I'm going to find a better diagram for that. Where's it going? Yes, this is a better diagram. We help them expand their consciousness from the limited ego here, okay, out into the vastness of their spirit as a part of themselves, not embodied. And normally most people are doing this on a dotted line. They're following the path of the ego, the path of suffering. Because I'm going with the left brain especially. We help you help them move to this following the spiritual signature, the path of bliss. And the spiritual signature is, in each moment, is one right action, the one that opens your heart the most. So it's about letting go of the Western scientific left brain approach, analyzing everything, figuring it all out, which leads to a lot of suffering, dropping into the heart and converging on the spiritual signature. Because if you follow the spiritual signature from wherever you are in your life, that'll help you align to the true purpose of why you're here, your gift of service. So this convergence is key. So it's moving away from the scientific paradigm, process-based paradigm, to being in the moment. Because whatever opens your heart in each moment, if you follow that, then the whole mission unfolds. I was very much in this when I left the corporate world 25 years ago. How long ago was it? Yeah, a bit over 25 years ago. And I had to learn the hard way to follow the spiritual signature, because every time I tried to do this, it didn't work. But as I learned to follow the signature, life started to work gradually. And now it really flows. Okay, so what you're doing is you're helping someone make this jump out of the prison of the matrix, the mental prison they're in, the following spirit, which will be you break free. Okay, that's what you're actually helping people do. And because they know what they're here to do and they can align to it, they have a completely different life, as you will as well, as you work through the issues you're facing. Okay. So basically, you're aligning them to the spiritual signature and helping them manifest it. And people's being gets very touched. There's a deep connection made when you're working with someone. It's very good for ongoing work with people, because they know exactly what's going on. You know what's going on, so everyone gets on with it. And it opens you to a deeper level of yourself. When I first started this work, I was very dispassionate, because I was very much, I trained as a chemical engineer, and I had a very difficult childhood. So I didn't have much compassion for people. I was just trying to get on with what my mind thought I should get on with. But when you do this work, you can see that someone just can't help themselves. This is just what they were born with. But you can actually help them work through it. So it brings a lot more compassion for people, this work. Because they literally can't help themselves, because the programs in the soul contract are so strong. Once they get conscious of it, then they can do something about it and transform it. So in the training, if you feel an urge to come, you'll be preparing and giving readings in the group. You get to do it at least twice. And the aim is that you can deliver readings soon after the workshop with some practice. And we're here to help you go out there and change the world, one person at a time. That's what we're actually doing with this work. And we'll bridge this with support programs, especially, so you're in the fifth dimensional bubble of safety and love for the workshop, but we hold space for you if you're interested with the support program. So then you can go out, try stuff out, and then you come back to the support program every 5 or 6 weeks and say, well, this happened, things you couldn't have even thought of on the training. And we will, Antigone, who's my co-teacher, she has 20 odd years experience with us. She's very passionate about it. She'll show you how you actually convert the powerful training into a reality and helping others. Okay. And then, because you'll be held for 6 months, we found that's the optimal time, and practitioners have asked for this, then you'll be up and running, delivering the work. So that's what's on offer here. So any questions, people, about what I've just said? Chat. And Elvira, Izui, any questions, or Janaki? No questions, anybody? Is that pretty clear? Okay. So let's keep moving then. So, if you're interested in coming, we're starting to do this Asia Pacific training. We started last year, okay? Because normally we start at mid 12:30 UK time, which is far too late in Asia. That's designed for Californians. So they start at 4:30 in the morning, and we go to the Eastern Bloc to about 9:30 at night. So when about the third Australian said to me, okay, if you could start earlier, we'll come. All right. So we start at 6 a.m. UK to 2 p.m. All right. Which means in Australia, the East Coast, which is where this request came from, they can run from 3 to 11 p.m. And everyone said, yeah, we can do that. Okay. And plus we cover, obviously, Europe from 7 a.m., the Middle East, Gulf Standard Time, 9 a.m., India, 10:30 a.m. So it's much more civilized. Malaysia, 1 p.m. We have people coming from all these places. Hong Kong, 1 p.m., Japan, 2 p.m. And in New Zealand, it's a civilized 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Because normally these guys out this far east tend to stay up all night. If you are, I just added these on this morning, but if you're in North America, it is a very early start. It's 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Central is 12 midnight. And this is the previous day, 11 p.m. for Mountain Time and 10 p.m. for Pacific Time. But some people are still coming because they can't wait for the training. So we balance it. We do one of these a year at this time. So if you're interested in finding out more, go to soulcontractreadingtraining.com. And the total cost is £718 or $835 approximate US dollars. And the deposit, which is included within this, is £277 or $322. Okay, so it's a different sort of group, given it's the Eastern Hemisphere, effectively, in Asia Pacific. But if you want to come, if this is a bit too early for you, you're in North America, we have our normal Western Hemisphere training, but that's not until October. If you can wait that long, it's 25th to 27th, 29th to 30th of October. We have a day in the middle, have a break. It's very intense. The first 3 days is the transmission of 22 numbers. We have a day off. One can lie down and rest. And the last 2 days are for practice. This starts at a more civilized for Europe, 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK. And Eastern Time in North America, 7:30, and Pacific Time is 4:30 a.m. These guys used to fly here to England, so most people don't mind getting up at 4:30 rather than flying because it cuts the cost in half. We gave up running live workshops simply because people were coming from everywhere, so we went completely on Zoom about 5 or 6 years ago. Same cost, same link. That's your other option. Okay. We run a Western Hemisphere training in spring and autumn. And we run the Asia Pacific in early summer. Okay. So they're your options if you're interested in this. You can find I had a lot more on soulcontractreadingtraining.com. So any other comments or questions, people, about the training or in general about the webinar? Samara?
I have a question about, you said the first 2 days are for like the transmission of the 22 numbers.
First 3 days.
Like the
first 3 days.
Okay. Is that just like a attunement almost, understanding like the energy of those numbers?
What we do is that basically we have the chart. Every student will get a turn, and we allocate. Our aim is to try and get as many of the 22 numbers within the karma or goal aspects from amongst the class. And so each student will get a turn where we'll describe the overall meaning of what it means, but most importantly, they'll share their subjective experience of what actually happened as a result of these numbers. So then you can match what's in the manual with what actually they have experienced. So we're not reading the book out or the manual out. We're giving a broad overview, but the most important thing is you're going to hear what it's like, and you never forget that, because some of it's pretty painful and profound what goes on. So their describing it will transmit to you what it's about. So you're immersed in each person's subjective experience. It's very, very powerful way of learning. Because experiential body-based learning is permanent. It stays in you. So we're not feeding your left brain anymore at all. That we want it to switch off. We want you to sit in the field of each number through our narrative and most importantly, their sharing. That's what we do for 3 days. So it's a very powerful transformative process overall. Does that clarify it? Okay. Any other questions, people? But you can put in the chat, you guys, if you want, or just switch your mics on, and Elvira or Kazui, if you have any other questions. Make the most of my time. You've got another 20 minutes if you want it.
Hello, Nicolas and everyone. I'm
Kazui.
Kazui. Yes. I don't have a question at the moment, but just wanted to say hi.
Hi.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Kazui's coming on the video. He's been hard at work in Tokyo. She should turn up in a minute. And just get... You have to unmute Kazui.
Okay. Here I am.
How was your day?
Oh, hectic. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. But I'm glad I made it here. And
Just say why you've come. So you guys to know you a bit.
Right. So I'm a soul contract reader myself. So I've given dozens readings so far, and I enjoyed it enormously. I am into teaching soul contract now. I'm taking a next step. At the same time, learning about the system too. And I found this soul contract reading the system is very mind opening, and immediately helps people to connect with their soul purpose. Well, it did to me, and I just love it. It's something that's kind of tangible. You see it like physically in a chart, and how your life is lined up in a map. It's not like just reading, like you receive the words, but you actually receive in front of you the chart, which is really powerful. And also the symbols, those 22 symbols just emanates the energies. And sometimes it does too much when I'm working on it. But a lot of time it just, when I feel like I want to connect and I want to open my heart, I just see the number of 7, which is connected to the heart. And that really, really helps to ground and then just be myself. I have a 7 in my in my chart, in a spiritual karma, no physical karma. I've been working on it, and first time when I saw it, I kind of wanted to reject it, but now I'm accepting it. Yes, so that was a bit of my journey. I just wanted to share with you. And at the same time, I'm translating Nicolas' book, Soul Contract Decoded, into Japanese. So Japanese audience who don't speak English, don't read English, can get a head around about the system, and maybe they grow interest. And that's I'm working on. That's one of my projects too. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for sharing yourself, Kazui. Very good with your sevens. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to raise consciousness in Japan, so we'll see how we go.
Yes, actually yeah, I'm trying to have a place to teach soul contract reading. So soul contract reading is coming to Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, the first Japanese training in Japanese will be in February 2024. Our Mira, who developed the work with me, she'll be working with Kazui being the simultaneous translation, but eventually Kazui will become the Japanese teacher in Japan.
Yes.
It's the aim.
Yes,
so,
that is.
Yeah, so Kazui will be on the May training as part of her teacher training. So,
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, a new frontier, as they say in Star Trek, completely. And we'll see how we go with it.
Oh, yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Okay. Any other comments or questions, people, before we finish? No? Okay. I will call it a day. Because if you just want to stay there, and we'll have a quick chat, quick catch up. All right, people, thank you for your time. The video will get sent out later this week, okay? So you just need to sort of leave the call there on the bottom right, okay? All right, I'll stop the recording now. Thank you.